exhausted, but let's get this challenge recap going. Honestly, this episode has been the least entertaining of the season. I feel like every episode has been great, but this one, it was good, but I was like, all right, let's get this going. I like how I say that and then I write so much notes. Recap from the episode prior: aerial takedown challenge. Casey, Leroy win. Jay and Teresa were pretty close, but close doesn't matter. There was that whole fight between, Fessy and Josh's side against Kyle and Devin. And then ultimately elimination was Leroy versus Jay. Leroy wins, gets his gold skull, and Jay goes home. Teresa ends up being paired up with the most unlucky partner, Corey. So Cam, in the beginning of this episode, talks about wanting Teresa to be thrown in if it's a girls' elimination against Casey, but they're not sure if it's going to be a girls' elimination because anything's possible, really. And since Teresa was paired up, there's no female rogue agent, so that was their reasoning behind that. So Lolo and Nam, again, are not seeing eye to eye, and CT had to really snap it into them, like, guys, like, if you guys work together, you will be unstoppable, so get it together. I understand where both of them are coming from. I just don't think that they're compatible. I think they have conflicting personalities. Lolo's a strong personality, and she wants to go in and get her gold skull, and Nam is a little more laid back. They're just very different people, and they're just not communicating well. So the guys are talking about there only being one gold skull left, and, they want Josh to get a gold skull, so when they start stealing, people are going to want to go against Josh because they think he's a weaker competitor, which I understand that reasoning. So we see the Big Brother Alliance, and in this episode, we see Amber B is very much involved with them, and they are her priority alliance. They come before the rookie ladies. I asked this question in my last video. I was like, is Amber B with them? I feel like I never see them together. She's playing a good game. I see her laying low. She's smart, friendly, and she hasn't really been rubbing people the wrong way. I think this is the first episode that we see that there is going to be some drama. Also, Lolo is included in this Big Brother Alliance because she was in Big Brother Celebrity. The challenge this week is all brawl, and it is going to get messy. Not just because there's mud. I would hate something like this. This is just catered toward people that are bigger and stronger. And you know what? You have to have a bit of brains and a bit of a plan going into it, because at the end of the day, you could be big and strong, but you have to be smart about how you get that relic and how you get out, because if you're not, you're gonna have a bunch of people coming at you. Big T was so cute. She was so excited. She's like, I never done anything like this, so she's just like, I'm excited to be a part of it. Lolo is heated and ready to go. I'd be terrified. In that first heat, they look hilarious looking for that relic. It took them a while. Nani found it and was like, oh my god, I found it! It's like, I don't think she fully thought it through. And since it was that first heat, mistakes are made. I think definitely people learned watching the heats go on. But yeah, that's definitely not something you want to do, because then she had all these angry girls coming at her. Nani tried to throw it. I understand what she was trying to do, but then Cam, there's just too many people. Cam scooped it up and won the heat. Lolo was so pissed that Anissa choked her from behind. And I understand where Lolo's coming from, but in the challenge, they played dirty. And this was a big welcome to the game. It's very different than, how you do things in a sport, in the Olympics. Also, I can't help laughing at it. I guess I just find a lot of things funny, but those helmets push people's heads down and it creates this wrinkle crease thing between their eyebrows, and it was just all I could do was focus on that when Anissa and Lolo were having their spat. I was like, they look really funny. It was hard to take it seriously. Nam was so good at this. I thought it was hilarious. He pretends to not find the relic and just searching around oh my god, I can't find it. And then when he sees an opening, he runs through. They really underestimated him in this. He's so sneaky. I definitely thought of this tactic when the first heat started. I was like, if I find it, I would pretend I don't have it, because I can't fight all those people off. So just pretend and hope for the best, wait for an opening, and then dip. Fessy and Josh had this plan to block the exit, and Josh would kind of block the entrance area and try to run after people, but they failed because he was able to get through. Maybe it was Kyle distracting them. Teresa found the relic, but she didn't do as great of a job pretending she didn't have it. I think everybody knew and they were just watching her. It's not great when you have a reputation for being sneaky, because then everybody's gonna look at you more closely. She definitely looked really happy. I was surprised Gabby pulled off the W. Good for her. CT wants the W bad. He wants his gold skull. And this was something that was made for him. He wasn't even looking. He was like shuffling his feet around. And the people watching the heat were like, that's suspicious. He's not even looking. How did everybody else ignore this? Were they just like, I don't know, he doesn't want to look, or he's waiting for someone else to find it and then tackle them? Maybe that's what they thought his tactic was. But he had it all along. Maybe, I guess, I didn't even see him look for it. Was he like shuffling around with his feet and found it? If so, that is a good tactic. You don't even have to bend down. All of a sudden he pulls it out and runs for it, and it was just so fast. I felt like that heat was over instantly. So for round 2, there's 3 rounds. I'm like, what is going to happen in round 3? We know that there's going to be a female victor and a male victor, not necessarily in the same team. Round 2, CT had to go against Nam. If I were Nam, I'd be scared. I mean, this is a big welcome to the challenge. It's an honor to go against CT head to head. I will say Nam really did put up a good fight, especially for a rookie. Cam prevailed versus Gabby. I mean, it's hard. Cam is unstoppable. She makes it look so easy. She just looked like she snapped Gabby's wrist like pretty quickly. So 3rd round was a sudden death round, and CT's partner and Cam's partner had to also get involved. Big T's face was like, Kyle's face was like, I don't blame them. Who wants to go against Killer Cam and who wants to go against CT? Yeah, CT was pissed because he's like, there's no way Big T will ever win over Cam. It's like Killer Cam versus, Big T, who's so much smaller than her. And this was right after she snapped Gabby's wrists. So the winning team has to win both rounds. And they will go until this occurs. So that means they could technically go all day. CT was funny. He was like, I wouldn't even beat Cam. Cam obviously easily won against Big T. Then CT and Kyle went head to head. Kyle surprisingly beat CT. So they didn't have to go all day. Maybe CT was tired, or maybe a deal was struck, or maybe CT just let him win. It definitely looked very easy for Kyle to beat him. So, I mean, CT did say it wasn't for real. Amber M is obviously on the chopping block. She said she definitely feels the heat. And yeah, this girl has gotten really lucky. Lolo was still pissed at Anissa. Anissa ultimately apologized to her, and Lolo accepted it. But before that, Lolo was telling everyone how mad she was and how it was an injustice. And yeah, but once Anissa apologized, she was so much better. So Kyle has an evil plan. His evil plan is to get Fessy back into elimination and to get Fessy and Anissa against Josh and Nany. I don't see that happening. Plus, I mean, the likelihood of Fessy coming back is high, and then he would just get to pick whichever partner he wants. So that's not the best plan. It was funny when Amber B and Big T were talking about having to vote Amber M in, and then Amber M walks in. There will definitely be heat between them next episode. So when it came to the deliberation, before everyone votes, Amber M and Michi were like, we don't want to go in, guys. Like, we've heard our name going around. There's 2 names going around. Blah, blah, blah. And CT's like, oh, is that what we're doing now? We're saying we don't want to go in? Like, I don't want to go in. And Leroy's like, I don't want to go in either. It's like, I mean, yeah, that speech, everyone's mind is already made up at that point. So Anissa was shook that her name was going around. Like, for me, if I found that out, I'd be like, wow, I really am out of the loop, and I probably, if I'm not going in this week, I'll probably go in sooner rather than later. So, especially when it comes down to stealing gold skulls. So Amber B went up to Kyle and told him not to tell Amber M where her vote lies because she has to stay true to Big Brother. And Amber M went up to Kyle as well and told him to tell her how Amber B votes. It was funny when Kyle referred to Amber B as Tall Amber. I was like, Of course. I was upset they didn't show us the compromised agents. I guess it builds to the suspense that we're not going to find out until, you know, not that much after, but still. They didn't show us where the votes landed. I assumed it was Fessy and Anissa because the way they made Kyle and Cam's face out, it seemed like they were like really happy. Like, oh my God, our plan worked. But of course they did that on purpose. I'm always tricked like that. Oh, and about the whole Anissa apology, Lolo said that Anissa is the vet that talks to her the most, so it's all cool now. So ultimately, Amber, M, and Michi were compromised. I'm surprised it took them this long to go into elimination. They really got lucky. And Amber M, you know, she must be the luckiest person because it turns out it's a guy's elimination. Kyle and Cam ultimately vote in Nany and Josh, which they were happy about. Obviously, Josh wants his gold skull. And yeah, this was kind of what Cam wanted to do. She wanted to throw Josh and Nany a bone and kind of make a bit of goodwill between them. Like, I did something for you, now you can do something for me. Like, you watch my back, I watch yours. For some reason, that whole drama between Amber M and Amber B, I thought it would be unexpected. It would boil down to Amber B and Darrell going in. But it didn't. So this elimination was called Asset Destruction 2. This is the one that Tori and Anissa had to do, but this time it involves a puzzle and it's heavier. Josh finished that puzzle super quickly. Maybe he's been training, you know? I definitely think that he's underestimated, and people, you know, I feel bad when they come after people saying that they're weak and, you know, not smart and whatever. He pulled that crate and toppled it over really quickly, but then when it came down to throwing the balls at the targets, he struggled a lot. You know, I was like, okay, maybe Michi will gain some ground. He didn't, because he never finished the puzzle. He's like looking over at Josh, seeing if he could replicate the puzzle. And it's just not the type of puzzle you cheat at. Like, you still have to move the pieces around. So maybe he should do some puzzles at home. We're all laughing at Josh, and I was laughing too. Like, it sucks. Like, it just be like that. TJ's like having a good old time laughing. Finally, Josh is able to hit the targets properly and he wins the elimination round. He gets the last gold skull. If you guys told me how this season would go and Josh would get a gold skull, I'd be like, but he did it. He finally won his first elimination round and he was so happy, and I was honestly happy for him. Like, I know he could be a lot, but I was happy that he was able to pull through and do it for himself and his family. Now, since all the guys have their gold skulls, it's gonna come down to stealing gold skulls. So people, the guys, will have to go against the guys who already have gold skulls. When TJ said Josh could stay with Nany or take another partner, could take Amber M or anybody else, like, the look he gave Nany was like a smile at each other. I knew he was gonna stay with Nany. When TJ said he could take Amber M nods her head like no. So Amber M is the first female rogue agent, which I was like, is that really true? Like, yeah. So next week will be a girls' elimination. And the challenge next week is trivia. I love trivia. I think it's so entertaining. So looking forward to that. Let me know in the comment section what you thought about this episode. And don't forget to subscribe for more challenge recaps and reactions.